Hi, welcome to Walk Off Talks. I am Alexandra Daly.
DeLon Barbetti.
And we are here today with Mike Kolesar, president of the ABCCL. That's a lot of letters. Break it down. What does that stand for?
It's easier to say the letters than it is to actually but it's the Atlantic Baseball Confederation Collegiate League.
Okay, big, long words too. Okay, ABCCL. And just to jump right into it, can you give us a little background of how you got involved with ABCCL, when you got involved?
Yeah, so ABCCL is a summer collegiate league here in New Jersey. It's now in our 26th year. Myself played in the league back in the early 2000s with our vice president, Ryan McGee. So we had kind of a, close to the heart kind of thing, what we were approached to taking over the league. But in 2019, Monique Kohler, started to have some conversations with me because we had just entered one of our own club teams into the league. And I was kind of seeing the ins and outs of how the league was being run and some of the things that were happening. And I could tell that she was getting a little frustrated with certain things. And I thought there were ways that we can elevate summer ball in New Jersey. So, it was a conversation where I finally said, hey, I'm happy to take this over if you feel like you were done. Because she, we had a good relationship. She remembers me when I played, and she was venting a little bit. And after having some conversations with, my team and my back end team, we approached Brian Delahant with USABL, and we said, if we go and do this, would you be interested in kind of joining forces to make ABCCL one of the top summer collegiate places to go play baseball? And he was on board, and now we're just getting stronger and stronger every year.
Okay, so you said 2019, so then you guys had to play through 2020, COVID.
Yeah, which was interesting, and nobody played that summer.
Oh, wow.
Except for us.
Yeah.
So we were able to find a way to make sure that we can safely play, making sure that we were on board with all procedures and protocol to make sure that the players on the field were protected and the officials and whatnot. But we had to make sure that baseball was open because leading up to this season, I want to say 95% of our coaches that we had in the league, you guys aren't, nobody's playing. You're not going to be able to pull this off. So I, really pat ourselves in the back for being able to pull it off. And we made it work. And, there were, some games that had to get canceled because of COVID hitting some of the players. And it was what it was, but we made the best of it. And we had probably one of our strongest, talented group of players that summer because we kept a lot of the players that were in New Jersey. We gave them an opportunity to play locally because nothing was open. The Cape wasn't open. Other leagues weren't open. The leagues down south, it was us, and we were the only game in town. So we draw in a ton of great talent. Speaking one of which right now, we've just made his MLB debut, Gordon Crescefo, a local, Cranford standout.
Yes.
Who played in the league, an all-star for that summer as well. So kudos to him. But we had some really top-notch players that summer. So it was exciting to see the talent. And then we've, got our name out there more and more because of that and got a big draw from some of the stronger schools here in New Jersey because that's what we're trying to do. We want to keep these New Jersey players and give them an opportunity to stay local and still get some good baseball.
Yeah, definitely. And you yourself as an alumni, I'm sure, love being able to show up for the program. Have you gotten a lot of good feedback now 5 years post that season? Feedback from those players on how it kind of changed their trajectory?
Yeah, I mean, they were grateful that we fought to have baseball being played in New Jersey because what we did was, and with the help of Brian Delahant, was we created this baseball coalition to reach out to the higher-ups in the state to allow outdoor activities to be played because everybody was the indoors and the social distancing, all right, that's indoors, but outside, we should be allowed to play baseball.
Yeah.
So, with everybody in the baseball world getting on board and they wanted their kids to get outside and active again, we were big advocates to make that happen. And those players were super grateful because it meant that they didn't have to get shut down for the summer. And then leading up into their next collegiate season, they were able to get stronger that way. So it was, they're grateful. We still talk about it. We still see that. We still keep up to date with all those players that played in the league that summer.
Yeah.
So it was great for them.
That's awesome. And I mean, we've kind of talked about this in the past, but you have one skill set as, you know, a baseball player, baseball coach, and then all of the admin that comes along with that is such a different skill set. And so how does it kind of help having Brian and working with him and having all the manpower behind USABL?
Yeah, so the advantage that we feel like we have when we're running this organization is former collegiate player, played in the league, former college coach, vice president in the same boat. So we know what the expectations are. We want to raise the level of standards when it comes down to, you know, the baseball side of things. But administratively, we take pride in being organized, and with the help of Brian, with him being a master in scheduling and avoiding conflicts and working with the fields all over the state of New Jersey because of his, you know, tenure in, you know, USABL and league play and tournaments and all that stuff, and the communication part to keep our coaches up to date. It's huge. One of the things that separates us from other organizations or other collegiate summers is our organization, because we are very, you know, transparent. We get things out efficiently, and everybody knows what the deal is. Everybody knows what time they need to be where and where they're going and all that good stuff. So there's no gray area.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just from the baseball side of things, administratively, like I said, we wanted to increase the level and the standard of play, because feedback I get from players that have been in other leagues is like show and go. You know, they just show up about 10, 15 minutes before the game, and then they play their games. That drives me crazy as a coach.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy as a president or somebody running the league. I want our players that come into this league to leave better than when they walked in. And it's not just showing up 10 minutes before the game. Barbetti, we talk about it all the time. Preparation is key. I want it to be loose. It's summer ball. Want to have fun. Totally get it, but we want it to be competitive. But I think they should show up on time. Take batting practice. Have an IO. You know, gel with their teammates. Pick up something from their coach that, you know, could help them become a better baseball player as they enter their next year going to school.
Yeah, I mean, to add on that, I would say how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? When I wish I played in the ABCCL, but when I played college baseball, like summer league was so important to me, and I didn't take it easy. My question for you as the president, like, what do you think is what would you say to a kid who's taking the summer off towards the kid that should be getting their games in, whether they played a full season, whether they didn't play, and they go and their answer is like, oh, I'm just going to work and I'm just going to hit the gym really hard this season, and they're going to miss 20 to 30 games.
For me, and I don't, and not everybody agrees with me on this, and this is not just because I run a league, but as a college coach, I want my players playing games, because there's nothing better than getting the actual in-game experience as a hitter, seeing good pitching and live pitching throughout, instead of taking the whole summer off and then rejoining your group in the fall and putting that work in. I think there's something to be said about taking a summer off if there's some kind of injury involved or whatnot. But I think as a pitcher, like, a lot of pitchers need to know how to pitch. And some of the players that we get in our league may not have the innings that they would have liked to gotten in their, you know, spring season, where this is a great opportunity for them. And one of the things that we do in our league is we follow Pitch Smart USA. So we're making sure that we're taking care of the arms that come into our league. So if they throw a certain amount of pitches, there needs to be a certain amount of proper rest for them to make sure that we're preventing injury, because we want to make sure that all the players that come in are going back not only stronger, but healthy. So we're not putting anybody in harm's way. So I think there's nothing better than playing and getting that experience. And you can still work out.
Yeah.
And there are in-season workouts that you could still do and mix in, and you could still have a job. You know, our league is kind of designed with Tuesday, Thursday, single 9-inning games, and then we have a double header on Sunday. The only way we stray from that is if there's a rain out and we have to have a makeup game somewhere else. But you could still do all of that. Have a job, have a summer job, still play your games here, still mix in a workout, and still have some kind of a social life while you're getting better at the game. Because if you're playing college baseball, we're under the assumption that you're obsessed with this game and you want to get better and you want to play, right? And I think that's how you get better.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, I would say too, you guys have August off, right, after the playoffs and the championship. But something to touch base on, the All-Star game. I was able to go and visit that. It's such a cool atmosphere. What's behind that? Can you shed some light on that?
What's better than having the best of the best of both sides? Because we have a North Division, we have a Shore Division, and then we just get the best of the best in one place, and we let them showcase what they have. So it's an unbelievable event. It's the most exciting event. We put on a home run derby every single year. Barbetti, you've done some of the, get you mic'd up and do some of the announcing for us to make it a little bit more exciting. But we've got like some big boppers. We've had some unbelievable, showcase home run derby outcomes 2 years ago. We had literally just before Lightning had strike to call us off right there, a walk-off to be a home run derby.
That's sick.
So, like, really cool stuff. But it's just fun to watch. We invite Little League teams and club organizations to come. The kids get to go in the outfield. They get to shag fly balls during, the North and Shore batting practice. We let them out there during the home run derby, protected by, our college guys, because these guys hit missiles.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. We joke, on the back end, Ryan McGee, the vice president, Brian Delahunt, it's like planning for a wedding. So it's a big event, and we have, everything from start to finish to check in, till those lights are going to be off at our venue to make sure that everything is staying on task and everything is smooth. And all we hope for is good weather for that day, of course. But we've had some really, really good events. We invite college coaches to come check out some of the JUCO players that are in the All-Star game. We invite professional scouts to come check out some of those guys that are projectable to play at the next level. So it's a really great event for those that are able, lucky enough to have a great season, that were nominated by their coaches and also selected by, our team that looks over all the numbers to see who's worthy and who's not.
That's awesome.
It's great.
So what are you, for this upcoming season, what are you looking forward to? What is kind of the big goals for 2025?
Every year we would just look to just step it up a notch. So we want to, we're getting nicer fields for our teams to play on. We're getting more dedicated general managers and coaches in the league that are buying into what we want as an organization, such as the standards and really a lot of the pregame stuff, and just being organized and setting the right expectation for the players. Because we want committed players. We understand that during the summertime that college kids want to go out and do their thing. But if they know what the expectations are, they know when to show up, they know what to do, and they understand that this is, a big commitment for 2 months, that they're there to do so, which means that increases the level of talent in the competition. For our playoffs, we have 6 teams in each division, and only the top 4 teams can advance into playoffs. So there's competitiveness within the regular season. So all those games, they matter.
Yeah.
And we do it. One of the things that we do different than other leagues as well is we can have unlimited defensive substitutions. We can have an extra hitter, and this gives these players the reps. I get it. Maybe you could say it's not traditional college baseball, but we're able to put our coaches in a position to manage their players, to get them the playing time that they need, to get the innings that they need. So they're not showing up and driving all over the place and sitting. It makes it, beneficial to show up for everything. So we're excited about that. But one of the changes or additions that we're going to do this summer is we want to get more tech involved. So we're going to have offering to some of our arms to do a session where they can get some data on TrackMan so they can see where they're at, and some of the information that they get back and the analytics from that we can send out to their coaches. And then, during our All-Star, this is going to be brand new, but we want to test out using Blast Motion, which is the device that goes on the knob of the hitters, and they could see what we're doing during the home run derby, see some of those numbers.
Yeah.
And then the in-game stuff. So some of our teams have already kind of done that. They're going to have those devices on during the game to kind of see what the difference is, when they're taking batting practice or when it's actually live, all their differences, and where are there discrepancies that can make that player better, and just more information for our coaches to give their players, college coaches, to say, hey, here's what I saw, here's what we're looking for. Any questions, let me know. And I think it's a good way for us to have a good line of communication with those coaches, so they want to send their players back to us, knowing that like we care about the development and we want them to get better.
Yeah, and even for the kids that are looking to transfer, or even kids that are looking to go to a new home, like I think that those metrics are so important to send out to a coach. If you have if you don't have any stats, if you didn't have the season that you wanted, I think that's such a good step towards the right direction.
I mean, we do a lot of player promotion. So we, are putting that out there. The players love to see it, but the coaches, want to check in on their players and see what they're doing. So we're up to date with all of our statistics. We've just recently transitioned over to Game Changer for scoring our games, which does, all live streaming for us. It just spits out the statistics, and we can share video clips, to their college coaches. They can check in on what they're doing. And it's just like instant kind of feedback for all of them. So everything is on the up and up for us right now, and we're excited about it all.
I heard the one last thing to touch on is an exciting, cool part. I think it's Obsessed Baseball versus Fraser Baseball on July 10th for the Autism Awareness Game. I think that's like something really cool to look forward. It's at Blue Claw Stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound like you're unsure of all the details of it. So we have a general manager and a coaches meeting prior to the season every year. And I usually start off end with, this league doesn't grow without the people that we have in it. And it's really with the general managers and the coaches. So Grant and Frazier, Dylan, who runs Obsessed in the league, have teamed up to set up a great event to raise awareness for autism at Blue Claw Stadium. Unbelievable, ballpark, minor league ballpark that our players get the chance to, but for a really good cause. So that's something that they took upon themselves to set up. We encourage our coaches to do that. I'm on board for all that stuff. I think it's fantastic. So I'm glad you're doing that. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So to wrap it up, what I'm hearing is ABCCL focuses on leading with the things that take no talent, right? I love that little phrase, because showing up takes no talent, being in your uniform takes no talent, but also kind of leading with data, leading with the manpower. So it sounds like you guys are going to have an awesome summer.
Each and every summer is getting better and better. We're excited at the group that we're working with. We've got 12 really strong teams that are coming in for this summer, and they're going to compete. It's going to be a testament to the recruiting that each coach has to do, because we start in September. As soon as our championship series is over, August is a down month. Everybody gets to recoup and recover, and then September we're right back into the recruiting game for the next summer. So we're super excited about that. We have a great summer ahead of us, and I think we have a lot of really strong talent in this summer. So the All-Star Game is going to be a great event, another great event for us. It's going to be July 8th. We'll have some more details going out for that. And one thing I just want to mention that I like to do to make the All-Star Game a little bit more personal is I call every single one of our All-Stars to congratulate them on the season that they're having, and to let them know that we're proud to have them in our league, and that they were nominated and selected to be a member of the All-Star Game to represent their division. So I feel like that's special. I feel it's a personal touch. It's a major accomplishment for our players to do that, and to hear their voices and to hear the excitement and them feeling proud that they accomplished something makes it special for me. So that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, so numbers matter on the field, but each player is not just a number.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
I want them to feel that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Good luck with your season.